This is Elizaville Cemetery in Fleming County, a place where you can find peace, families, and heroes of all kinds in their final resting place. Heroes like Kentucky State Trooper Anson Blake Tribby.
We haven't just forgot about him once, after his death, that he lives with us every day.
Trooper Tribby died 10 years ago in an accident on I-64 in Clark County. He was off duty at the time, driving his personal car, when he noticed a vehicle on fire. Trooper Tribby stopped to help. He was killed that night in a collision with a flatbed wrecker. Rebecca Tribby Clee, his widow,
it says married to Rebecca Walton and daddy to Troop,
was driving behind him at the time of the accident in a separate vehicle.
I knew he was going to stop and help that night, and I would have been disappointed if he hadn't, because that's just what he did.
A decade later, she has her ups and downs about his passing.
Yeah, it still gets you that you just can't believe this is your life, but we tried to just remember the happy times.
But in tragedy, loved ones help you get through the tough times.
Now, Uncle Blake is right here, sweetie. Right there. Okay.
This is Trooper Tribby's mother, Pam Tribby.
Our community has just wrapped their arms around us, and they continue to do that. And I don't think we could have gotten through that without all the love of the community.
Trooper Tribby was 25 years old. He was third-generation law enforcement. His badge number 387 is now retired. What's not retired are his memories.
I look forward to seeing him again, and I know I will one day.
As for Rebecca, she has remarried and is now pregnant with a baby girl due in August. Life goes on with good memories in tow. In Fleming County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.